do you say to the suspect in this case, Edward James Jackson Bland? If he was standing right here, what do you say to him?
How did you feel the morning that you woke up, that next day that you murdered my baby girl? You murdered my baby girl. You took her life with did you have any remorse at all about what you did?
Dad, Lily's gone. Someone killed her. And I was like, what? And, I just was so weak.
Even worse, when he learned who was accused of killing his daughter.
We were cousins, but they considered themselves like the best of friends.
The description of 34-year-old Leann Harris as a fun-loving, spontaneous, and overall good person is now overshadowed by the rage and horror of her brutal murder. Despite her dedication to her 3 children and her outward display of love for motherhood on social media, her life was violently cut short. She juggled her responsibilities as a mother while still finding time to enjoy herself with her partner and friends, including 22-year-old Asia Payne, a woman known for her intelligence, artistry, and kindness. Their plans for a carefree evening were violently disrupted on April 1 when Leann's own cousin, 36-year-old Edward James Jackson Bland, barged into her home. Despite Leann's history of generosity towards him, their encounter turned into a nightmare. James had been a frequent visitor in Leann's home, where she had always welcomed him with open arms, providing him with food, money, and anything he needed. She considered him her best friend. However, on this fateful evening, James no longer saw Leann as his favorite cousin. After a heated argument between the two, James snapped. He went into a frenzy, grabbing a gun and mercilessly shooting Leann and Asia to death. In a final act of betrayal, he callously stole their money before locking the door and fleeing the scene. The betrayal and savagery of this heinous act demand justice. It's unfathomable how someone whom Leann considered family could so callously snuff out her life and that of her friend. Welcome to the American Crime, Femicide channel. Please like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification button for future uploads.
2 women are dead and police have 1 person in custody after a shooting. These are live pictures right now from the scene as police continue that investigation. This is at the Westgate Apartments and Townhomes on Porter's Ridge Lane. The women were found dead inside a home during a welfare check just after 5 this morning. Police took a person of interest into custody in Shenandoah County.
Earlier today, we told you that Prince William County Police had a person of interest in connection to the 2 women who were found shot and killed in this apartment complex here. Well, tonight, we are learning that 36-year-old Edward Bland is facing 2 counts of murder and a carjacking. We're told the carjacking happened this morning right over here, just feet away from the shooting over here on Portwood Turn. Now, let's go back to early this morning, just after 5 o'clock. Police were doing a welfare check on the 8100 block of Porter Ridge Lane. This is the Westgate Apartments and Townhome community in Manassas. During that check, they found 2 victims, 34-year-old Leann Harris and 22-year-old Asia Payne, dead with gunshot wounds to their upper bodies. Now, they later detained Bland in Shenandoah County, which is about 75 miles away from here. Well, according to police, Bland carjacked a 61-year-old man just before 1 o'clock this morning. The man, who was unarmed, called police to report that someone pointed a gun at him and stole his car. Police weren't able to find the car in the area, so they put the vehicle information into a database alerting other departments. Several hours later, Prince William County Police received a call that their stolen car was found broken down in Shenandoah, and the accused, Bland, was at a nearby convenience store where he was arrested. Now, during that investigation, police gathered some additional information that prompted the welfare check and found the 2 women dead in the apartment.
New at 11, we're learning more about a crime in Manassas. 2 women were shot to death earlier this week. Their names are Leann Harris and Asia Payne.
And tonight, our Katie Lusso spoke with Leann's father. That interview and this update on the investigation, it's a story you will only see right here on WUSA 9.
I'm not doing good.
James Kaysen is still in shock over the loss of his daughter, Leann, or Leann Harris. She was a mother of 3.
She meant a lot. Everyone loved her.
Just after midnight on Tuesday, police say they got 2 separate 911 calls from people at the Westgate apartment complex in Manassas. One was a man who'd been carjacked.
Callers advising they came home from work and was carjacked. We have an additional caller advising they saw a male subject run out of the apartment building with a gun.
Several hours later, police say the car was found more than 70 miles away in Shenandoah County. Edward James Jackson Bland was taken into custody, and while police wouldn't share details, they say after speaking with him, they sent officers back to the apartment complex to do a welfare check. Around 5 a.m., police say they discovered the bodies of 34-year-old Leann Renee Harris and 22-year-old Asia Payne. Kaysen says he got the news from one of his sons.
He was saying, like, Dad, Lily's gone. Someone killed her. And I was like, what? And, you know, I just was so weak.
Even worse, when he learned who was accused of killing his daughter.
We were cousins, but they considered themselves like the best of friends.
Now 2 families in mourning. Payne, remembered as an artist who loved ones described as kind and a social butterfly, and Harris,
always smiling and always enjoying her life.
The mother of a woman murdered in a Manassas apartment speaking out for the first time.
So we know that police arrested the suspected killer, who detectives say was trying to skip town in a stolen car. That grieving mother, though, is talking only with our Shamari Stone tonight.
Tonight, your heart really goes out to this mother. Angela Payne is devastated. She lost her only daughter, 22-year-old Asia Payne. After finding out that her daughter was murdered inside of this unit, she broke down in tears. We're here in the Westgate apartment and townhome community on Porter Ridge Lane in Manassas, Virginia. Tonight, she's sharing her story, she says, to honor her daughter. She says Asia was a kind woman who loved animals, dancing, singing, and grew up in Manassas, Virginia. Prince William County police tell me 36-year-old Edward James Jackson Bland shot and killed Asia and Leann Renee Harris around 1 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. Police got Bland after they say he carjacked someone with a gun and then broke down in the stolen car hours later in Shenandoah County. After the arrest, police checked the apartment, and that's where they found Asia and Harris. Detectives believe the 2 women and the suspect knew each other. How? Well, that's under investigation. You're now going to hear exclusively from Asia Payne's mother. What are you going to miss most about your daughter?
Well, us hanging out and just having fun and singing and dancing and the phone calls at night. I don't get any more phone calls. I don't get any more of those midnight phone calls. Mom, I love you.
What do you say to the suspect in this case, Edward James Jackson Bland? If he was standing right here, what do you say to him?
How did you feel the morning that you woke up, that next day that you murdered my baby girl? You murdered my baby girl. You took her life with did you have any remorse at all about what you did?
Back out here in the building, Angela Payne tells me she does not know how her daughter knew Harris and the suspect. That's still under investigation. Detectives are trying to figure out what led up to the shooting. If you have any information, give them a call. As for the suspect, well, he's facing several charges, including 2 counts of murder and 1 count of carjacking. Tonight, he's in jail.
Though justice moved swiftly in this case, with Bland's arrest within 12 hours, it does little to quell the anguish of Leann and Asia's families. 2 families now find themselves grappling with the unbearable task of grieving while also making arrangements to lay their loved ones to rest. Asia's family has established a GoFundMe to seek financial assistance during this trying time, while Leann's family has set up a Cash App for public donations to help cover funeral expenses. If you are able to contribute, please consider doing so. As these families prepare to bid their final farewells, let us hold them close in our thoughts and prayers. May Leann Harris and Asia Payne find peace in eternal rest.